Guten Tag, welcome back to CFC TV. This is my review of the PSG versus Chelsea match. It finished 2-1 to PSG, which is a decent result because, we got the away goal, which is huge. Like, it's a big advantage for us going to the bridge. Not like they still have an advantage because, they won the game. But, if we much better than if we would have won the game 1-0, I'm gonna start with the lineup. I think it was exactly the same that he played against Newcastle, with the exception of Mikel coming in for Matic, who was suspended. So it was Thibaut in goal. Actually, not the same starting lineup as against Newcastle, but the same team that played when John Terry got subbed off. It was Ivanovic on the right. Azpilicueta on the right. Cahill and Ivanovic as centre backs, and Baba Rahman on the left. John Terry picked up a small hamstring injury. He trained on Monday, but he didn't travel with the squad. As he trained on Monday, I'm pretty sure he should be fit for the PSG game, but who knows. And the holding midfielders were Mikel and Fabregas. As I said, Matic was suspended, so obviously it was going to be Mikel because as we sold Ramirez, it had to be Mikel and Fabregas because, let's be honest, we weren't going to play Ruben Loftus-Cheek against PSG. Then the three behind the striker, Hazard, Pedro and Willian, and obviously Diego up front. But the game, it started like they were all over us. They pressed us so hard. They just really got in our faces. For the first 15-20 minutes, we didn't manage to really get hold of the ball properly, to pass it around and get a few passes together and start an attack. We just didn't manage to do that. But after a while, as I said, after 15-20 minutes, we did get a lot better. We started finding our feet. Fabregas started to control the game a little bit. Hazard was quite good. Pedro was good. Willian, with what he does all the time, running, going past players and just with his pace, was actually quite good. And then Diego had a huge chance. It was a good play by first it was Fabregas, Willian, Hazard. Hazard played it over to Baba and he put in a great cross. Costa was probably an inch offside or something, but the flag didn't go up, and he had a kind of free header. Could have just put it sort of in the far post because Trapp was moving towards him, the PSG keeper, but he didn't manage to get in to the far post, so he basically put it right in the middle of the goal, which was still a little bit of an angle for him, so not just straight, but just not enough, not just enough of an angle, if you know what I'm saying. And Trapp got his hand to it, got his fingertips to it, and just deflected it on the bar. So we were a bit unlucky, but he could have done it a little bit better as well. It was after that. It was just a good game of football. Both teams had some kind of attacks, but no team didn't really create anything. Our defense was solid. We did really well defensively. Then Mikel had a bit of a stupid moment, a bit of a stupid 2 minutes, because first he made a stupid foul on Lucas, got a yellow card for it as well. And then obviously they had a free kick quite close to the goal. I'd say about 20-22 yards or something. Zlatan took it, and Mikel decided to be somehow some kind of pussy, because when the ball jumped up, he sort of turned away, so sort of his body's not like that, it's like that, it's obviously smaller. And the shot, it was a low shot by Ibrahimovic, and it hit Mikel's shin, and obviously if he would have stood like this instead of this, it wouldn't even have got to the goal because it would have just bounced away from the wall. But it didn't, and he took a deflection, and Thibaut went the other way, and it just it got in. And then we did play well after that. We tried, we had a few corners, had a few attempts, and then the first minute of injury time in the first half, William put in a cross. I think Costa just got a touch to it before Ibrahimovic. It fell to Mikel, and he just slotted it in. Just a huge moment because it wasn't a away goal. That's what we needed. That's the biggest thing. I just went absolutely crazy. Because I wasn't really that pessimistic before the game, but so many people have talked to me nah, they're gonna smash us. Not even other fans, but Chelsea fans, we don't stand a chance. And for some reason, I sort of let that get to my head and sort of was feeling a bit scared the closer it got to the game. But so it was a huge moment that he got that goal. yeah, the second half started, and PSG came out the blocks again. I thought maybe it would be like the first half, but we just couldn't get hold of the second half. They just pressed us for the whole 45 minutes of the second half. Hazard was terrible in the second half. He got subbed off for Oscar, and not long after that substitution, Di Maria played a beautiful over the defence ball to Cavani, who had a really tight angle, and I think Thibaut should have saved it. Because it was such a tight angle. I was surprised he got it in that well, but he did score. And after that, Oscar somehow had some kind of half chance. It was a good long ball by Fabregas, but Oscar just couldn't get a touch to the ball before the keeper. And Costa had a decent chance as well. I think even before they scored the 2-1, but he was sort of one-on-one with the keeper and just couldn't get it past him because he just got to the ball just before Trapp was there as well, so he couldn't have taken a shot earlier. But yeah. I was a bit worried. Zlatan almost made it 3-1, which would have been a big difference in the end. But, to talk about the players individually, I know I just said Thibaut, he should have saved that goal, but otherwise it was outstanding. He made so many good saves. But, as I said, he should have saved that. And a 1-1 would obviously have been a much, much better result. But yeah, as I said, he was quite good. Azpilicueta, great in the first half. A bit out of position sometimes, a bit naive, going at the winger, and then their fullback made the overlap, and we were a bit exposed. But overall he did well. He dealt with whoever he was up against. If it was Lucas, if it was Di Maria, if it was Maxwell, if it was Ibrahimovic, it didn't matter. He did the job. And Gary Cahill and Branislav Ivanovic both were good. Gary Cahill just pulled off his game. Good interceptions, good blocks, which is what he does. He wasn't incredible, but he was really good. Our two centre backs in general were really good. There was one moment in the first half where Zlatan had sort of a free header, sort of just put it in the floor and jumped over the goal basically, or bounced over the goal. It's a terrible header. But he was with Zlatan basically when the cross was taken, but Zlatan just moved 2-3 yards of back. And Kane just didn't realise that. Turned around and I'm not with him anymore, and tried to sort of get there but couldn't. Luckily, Zlatan messed it up. But otherwise, I think Cahill was really good. And now coming to Ivanovic, all of us have slated him for his right-back performances this season, especially in the first half of the season. But that centre-back performance by him was just incredible. Whoever came up with the idea of playing him right-back, he's an incredible centre-back. I would play him and JT in the second leg. I would. I seriously would. He was so good. He won his headers. He cleared the ball. He put in an incredible block after, I can't remember who had the shot. I think Lucas did. Thibaut saved it, and then he came back to Matuidi, and he just threw his body in. Just great centre-back performance. And then Baba Rahman. I'm sticking with what I said after the Newcastle game. He should be a winger. He's really good going forward. As I said, he made the cross for the Costa chance in the first half. He's really good going forward. He's good with the ball, but sometimes he just gets done too easily. Maybe it's because he's not physically at the level that you have to be for Premier League and for a tough Champions League opponent. Maybe that's it, because he played for Augsburg in the Bundesliga, who are on the bad side, but they're on the world-class side, and in the Bundesliga, except Bayern Munich and maybe Dortmund, aren't the best of leagues. So I think that might just be it. But yeah, I mean, defensively, I was just not too happy with him, if I'm gonna be honest. I just felt like, what are you doing? Sometimes I think Marquinhos, because Marquinhos played right back, because obviously Serge Aurier fucked up with, sort of made some homophobic comments about their manager and stuff like that. So I was surprised not to see Van der Wiel start as a right back, but Marquinhos. But even Marquinhos as did Baba, and obviously Lucas. With Lucas, I can understand it, and Di Maria, but Marquinhos, who's actually centre back, who shouldn't get done by. So yeah, he wasn't great, but he was okay, I think. Then Fabregas was good. He put in tackles. He put in, he was good with his passing. It wasn't the perfect game for him because, especially in the second half, we just didn't see a lot of the ball. But he did well, in my opinion. He had one stupid misplaced pass in the first half. But otherwise, I think it was good. Mikel, as I said, he messed up for the first goal we conceded. Scored the second goal. Was decent in the second half, like breaking down the play. But nothing special. But obviously, he got the huge goal, which just makes his performance good, even though he wasn't that good. And then Hazard, he was decent in the first half, like good runs. He played a good ball to, who was it? I think William when we got a free kick after that, and William just hit the ball with the free kick. Hasn't made some good runs, good passes, but in the second half he tried, like, once he tried to sort of flick it, and he lost the ball right at the edge of our box, and we almost conceded. And then he tried to, like, go past, I think, Marquinhos, but still close to our box, and lost the ball. So his second half was terrible. His first half was okay. He got subbed off for Oscar, as I said before. Willian had a good game, really, actually a great game. Like, he was a main man. He started so many counter attacks, did really well. I was really happy with Willian. Pedro, he worked so much. He has horse lungs, doesn't he? Like, he did so much running. What I have to say about him, he's not that used to trekking back yet, like Willian is, because you could see he was in the right positions, basically next to, or even like further to the like touchline than Aspi. But he just didn't realise quick enough when there was a dangerous ball played, and didn't realise that there might have been Maxwell running in behind him or stuff like that. And he just didn't figure that out quickly enough. So that is something he has to work on, but his work rate is incredible. He had a good shot, just like, not sure if it was even an injury time. I think it might have been. Just hit the side netting, but it was a good effort. But overall, I think it was actually quite good. Costa, obviously, he had that chance in the first half, which he should have buried, to be honest. He had good moments, he had bad moments. I don't think he won a single header against either Thiago Silva or David Luiz, which, obviously isn't great. But, especially against Thiago Silva, he's a great defender. His aerial ability is just out of this world, to be honest. And, he found it a bit difficult. But, he sort of got a touch before Zlatan to sort of kind of assist Mikel's goal. As I said, he had some good parts, he had some bad parts, but he was average, I think. And then, obviously, Oscar came on, didn't do anything, nothing bad, nothing good. I think he just came on because Hazard, maybe he's a bit tired already, because last weekend it was his first 90 minutes in like 6 weeks since he picked up this injury. So maybe he was just tired, but also maybe to help out Baba, because Oscar is a bit better defensively than Hazard is. Did we even make another sub? Don't think we did. It's a bit stupid, isn't it? But alright. Yeah, I mean, overall, as I said in the beginning, it is a good result. It's not a great result, but, we went through against PSG 2 years ago when we were 3-1 down after the first leg. We went through after being 3-1 down against Napoli, like back in 2012. So yeah, I mean, there's still room for what's it called? Can't think of it right now. For positivity. Because, JT will be back, that's for sure, because it's played on the 9th of March. That gives us a bit of a difference. But as I said, I would play Ivanovic with John Terry. But yeah, probably not going to happen, but that's what I would do. But yeah, it was a good game of football in the first half. Both teams, it was just nice to watch it. Back Champions League is back, it's just so different. Second half, as I said, they dominated us. We couldn't get hold of the ball. We couldn't get out of our half, basically. And when we played the long ball, Costa didn't manage to sort of hold it up. Not that it was really his fault. His aerial ability is just not as good as Thiago Silva's is, quite simply. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely doable at the Bridge. We will need to up our performance. Like, if we play like we did in the first half, we can we can, win this. We just have to score one goal and keep a clean sheet. Which we're not a team to keep clean sheets this season, but it's still possible. Um, and yeah, I mean, Matic is obviously not suspended, so if he plays like he did against Newcastle, maybe that can help us as well. But overall, I think it was a fair result. If I'm going to be honest, considering the second half, they might have even deserved to win it 3-1. But overall, I think a 2-1 is a fair result. But yeah, that's basically it for me. Obviously, we're playing Man City, I think, on Sunday in the FA Cup, which will be a tough game. But if we play like we did in the first half today, we'll definitely beat Man City. But yeah, that was all I had to say on the game. As I said, good result. Let's get to the bridge. Let's go through. It's just the most important thing. We didn't get smashed. We're still in the tie, and let's kick on from here. That's all I have to say, and see you next time.